Hey, welcome back to Mike's Garage. Today I am back at work on my 2012 A8 to D4 to 4.2, and I'm going through a bunch of different fluid change videos. This first one will be the rear differential. This is probably the most straightforward. Everything's exposed. You don't have to take any belly pans off, and it's just a drain and fill. Pretty much identical to the Equinox differential video I did not too long ago. So we'll start with the rear. Next video I'll do the front, and then the third video I will do the transfer case. There's already a really good video on an A8 D4 transmission fluid and filter change, so probably won't do that, but I will be doing that fluid soon. So let's get started. Key thing here is to get the vehicle level. If I was doing this on the ground, which I've done before in like a different vehicle, I like to do the front wheels up on ramps and then put the back end on jack stands with the vehicle as level as you can get. Obviously you want to raise very safely and securely when you're under here. Both of the fill and drain plugs are a 10mm Allen. We will start with the fill plug. As with any fluid change, you want to make sure the fill plug can come off before you drain it out. Now, according to the service manual, you're supposed to replace these plugs anytime you change the fluid. I'm opting to just reuse them. And if they leak, I will change them. So with the fill and chuck plug removed, I'm going to remove the drain plug. Same 10mm Allen, which I think I mentioned earlier. Obviously have your drain pan ready. Now this actually looks pretty clean. I'm doing this at around 93,000 miles. So it doesn't, I was expecting it to be a lot darker. Again, if you reference the service manual, I believe it states that the front, rear, and center, transfer case, the fluids are lifetime, and I just don't buy into that. So for the price of the fluid, it'll give me some peace of mind. Just now, I'm going to use a rag to get the sealing surface as clean as I can. Hopefully the audio is okay in this. I've switched to a different camera. It's a little Osmo action. I'm just using the built-in mic. I don't have any, separate microphone to use, which maybe I will someday. You want to make sure the fill plug is nice and clean so you don't get dirt in there. All right, that's just down to the drip. So put the drain plug back in. Snug that up for now. I'll torque, once the fill plug's back in, I'll torque them both down. The spec is 30 Newton meters, so around 22 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to wipe as much off as I can around the drain plug, so if I do develop a leak, I'm able to see it. Alright, I am putting the fluid back in now. Speaking of fluid, I am using the Audi axle oil. I'll put part numbers and whatnot in the description, maybe a picture of it. I'll stick it in between shots here. It wasn't cheap, like runs around $27 a liter, and the rear is listed as 0.9 liters and 1.1 for the front, so you're talking exactly 2 liters. If you're using a fluid pump like I am, You can't get it all out of the bottom of the bottle, so you're probably going to want to get 3 bottles if you're doing front and rear. I've also read a lot of people just use good quality 7590 synthetic fluid. The transfer case is a different story. I'd highly recommend Audi's fluid for that. It's very expensive, but the first thing you need to do is determine if you have a common or separated oil in the front diff. I'll get more into that when I do the transfer case and front diff video. So this is what I'm using to put the fluid in. It is a Motive power fill. In the past I've just used a manual hand pump, and that's fine for doing this occasionally. But I do a bunch of service these days for neighbors and whatnot, so I decided to get this power fill. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the vehicle it needs to be as level as possible, as this is your fill and check plug. So essentially you put it in until it starts coming out, and put the plug back in and torque it up. Okay, fluid's starting to come out. Close this. And the fluid's really coming out. All right, torque it down. So that's pretty much it for the rear diff, and that should do it. All right, thanks for watching.